Living Balanced and Brave is about encouraging and empowering individuals to become the best versions of themselves with an acceptance of who they are today. We do this by sharing our own lived experiences and educational background in mental health. We understand firsthand how important it is to take care of your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual health. You cannot pour from an empty cup. In order to pour out, you must too be filled first. So, we are coming alongside you and your decision to want to live a balanced and brave life. So without further ado, here's this week's episode.
Hello, and welcome back to Balanced and Brave, the podcast. I am your host, Venetia.
And I am your other host, Ashley.
And we are so glad to be back with you all. It has been a good little hiatus, but it was necessary. And so we are just going to call this the return, the big return of the beautifulness of this podcast. So, Ashley, what you been up to?
Man, I mean, first of all, yes, I am super excited just to get this thing back started. We did take a little hiatus, but a much needed one.
We did. Yes.
You know, obviously we're talking about living balanced and living brave. But what does that really look like truly? And so we kind of just modeled it, not on purpose, but we just kind of did it because we needed to do it for ourselves. So what have we been up to, or what have I been up to? School. I have been schooling.
Yep.
Schooling has been trying to kick my booty. Okay, school has tried to take me out, but I'm still standing by the grace of God.
Come on. Won't he do it? Listen.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, honestly, like, it has been just a crazy time. Like, my last semester, I'm finally in my last semester.
Woo-hoo!
First of all.
Yeah, we're going to get loud for that. Yes. Yes, we are going to get loud for that. Yes.
You're embarrassing me. I'm embarrassed.
Don't be.
But no, this is my last semester of grad school, and I am super, super excited that I'm finishing up, and I'm trying to finish this thing strong. So that's been just what's been on my forefront of my mind. And then I am doing an event called Healing Together, Grieving Sisters. And I, this is something that, is very near and dear to me, but it wasn't anything that I had on my mind, but my supervisor just kind of pushed me to do this. And so basically it's a space for Black women that have lost their moms. And we're going to basically just come together and grieve together and laugh together and cry together, and just really embrace those emotions that we do have that we sometimes tend to bottle up when we're around other people that don't necessarily look like us. And so talking about some of those things, and so it's going to be Juneteenth, this month, from 10 to 2 p.m. And so I'm just really looking forward to diving into that. So that's where a lot of my my thoughts have been with that event as well. So yeah.
I like it.
That's where I've been.
I like it.
Well, what about you?
We have both been in this school thing, and during our hiatus, I was focused on finishing grad school. So I have just graduated. Graduated May 15th. Yes, I'm going to get loud for that. Glory. Yeah. It is over. I am done. Yeah. Graduate. Once again. I have mastered it twice. And so that is where, my whole focus was, of just like finishing strong and making sure that I did whatever I had to do, and that I was able to accomplish the goal that I had set out for myself. And the goal that I had set out was to make sure that I finished grad school. And that was the thing. And it's hard to do grad school, especially being a mom and a wife, of just trying that balancing act. And like it was not easy. I will never say that it was easy. It is not for the faint at heart. um it is definitely something that for sure it took a lot. It definitely took a lot out of me. And I finishing grad school, graduating, the biggest
Hmm.
weight off of my shoulders. Also during that time, I took the national counseling exam, trying to get that good
Hmm.
old state board certification. And although it did not go as I had planned, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
Like I was confident, like I told you already, like I was confident in my ability to even take the test.
Right.
And so it was definitely a long and brutal 4 hours,
Yeah.
but we made it through the test. And so I do plan to retake it. And then now, like, my goal is just trying to land a school counseling position for this upcoming school year,
Hmm.
which has definitely been a longer road than what I thought it was going to be, because
Mm.
I'm already in the school system. I've already got the connections.
Right.
I've been to different schools. I've got the recommendations. I've got the experience
Hmm.
of being in the school system, but it's just like, now the thing is like, well, you don't have experience as a counselor. And I'm just like, oh, please don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've sacrificed, like,
Yeah.
y'all, I don't think y'all, let me just break this down for you all. So, my final semester or year of grad school, I had to complete my internships. So, this past crazy school year that started virtual, and we go in person, we go back out, we go in person, we go back out. I balanced between, I went to like three schools essentially. I started at my home school, then my internship started at a middle school. So I was at the
Hmm.
middle school, then I went back to my home school when my first internship was done. And then my second internship started, and I had to go to another school. So I went to like three different schools. Also, please note, it's still the pandemic. Internship is
Right.
unpaid.
Hmm.
Like, relying on the literal and abundant grace of God to just see us through and like help me take care of my kids
Hmm.
and help me
Yeah.
make sure that we pay for what we need to pay for. So it has definitely been a journey, a long, long journey. And
Yeah.
it was too much. And that was why, you know, me and Ashley talked, and I said, listen, we're going to have to take a break. Cause like,
Yeah.
I can't, like it became insurmountable. It was
Mm.
too much to try to balance. And it was like, something's got to go. And it wasn't that we didn't want to do the podcast. It was, we had to focus on some other things first,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
Um, but let me ask you, Ashley,
Yeah.
why was it important that we took that break?
Yeah.
Like, if we wouldn't have taken that break and we just would have kept working through it, like, why was it important? Why did it have to happen?
Yeah. Um, Two words or maybe one word: burnout. Um, it's a real
For sure.
thing. It's a real
It
thing.
is.
We needed to take that break so that we are able to then be there to serve. I think sometimes we think, and I've said this in other spaces as well, but when we take care of ourselves, it allows us the capacity to then take care of other people.
Facts.
You cannot take care of anybody else if you haven't taken care of yourself. And so that was a big thing of why we needed to take that break. Is like, we want to make sure that we're giving you guys, good content. Like, we don't want to just come on here and
Exactly.
just, you hear it in our voice. We're tired, we're exhausted, and so it was getting to that point where we were just like, oh my God, like, we're tired. Can we
Yeah.
even show up?
Yeah.
And so not saying that, we didn't want to, like Benicia said, but
Right.
it's the simple fact that we want to make sure that we are giving you guys the best parts of us and not like,
Yeah.
the leftovers, and that
Exactly.
was,
Exactly.
the main thing behind it. Burnout is a real thing that not only, counselors go through and therapists go through, but also just
Yes.
everyday people. Like you get to a point
Yes.
where your plate is just too full to fit anything else in there.
Exactly.
And sometimes you do have to take a step back. It doesn't mean that you can't return to it. It just
Come
means
on.
that for that season or for that moment, you might
Come
have to
on.
prioritize your mental health.
There
you
you
might
go. You
have to
might have to get that salad instead of that
you
chicken
might
wing.
have to prioritize your physical health, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I don't think there's this or that. It's black
Yeah.
or white. Like it's you do need to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. And
For
so
sure.
that's a big part of why we had to take that break.
For sure. For sure. I have to agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess one of the things that I would love to just, I guess, leave with you all from this just return is something that we learned of ourselves during our
Mm.
break. So I'll go first. I will say, and I learned a lot of things for
Yeah.
sure, but if I have to narrow it down to one thing, listen to yourself
Mm.
is what I would say I learned the most.
Mm.
Listen to yourself. Because so oftentimes, like, you're doing so much. Like, I mean, we're going.
Yeah.
School, work, parents, life,
Right.
marriage, wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And we don't take the time to listen to ourselves. And like, the only difference between me and Ashley is the fact that I have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only bigger difference
Mm-hmm.
that we have. And so there are so many times where just me as a mom and a woman, I'm like, well, I got to do this for this person, and I got to do this for these people, and I got to do that, and then I got to make sure I complete my assignments. I got to write the paper. I got to read the book. I got to give the bath. I got to get
Mm-hmm.
the clothes. I got to do, and I never stopped to just be like, Vanish,
Yeah.
niche, what you
Mm-hmm.
doing with yourself, girl?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so like I really had to listen to myself and practice what we've been preaching.
Yeah. That's real.
And, you know, that I think for sure, like if your body says go to bed, go to bed.
Yeah.
Like do what you can do in that day. What you can't do, don't do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely the one lesson that I will say that I had to take from all of this. What about you?
Yeah. As you were talking, I was like, man, what is the one thing that I learned? I think for me, um, it's been progress, not perfection.
Mm.
Learning that about myself, that I had these perfectionist tendencies, and we've talked about it already. But
Yeah.
but basically, I would set these huge goals, and they're
Yeah.
great goals. Not that I can't achieve them, but it was to a
Right.
point where they were just not realistic for all of the things
Mm.
that were going on in my life. So I would set these goals. Yep, I want to do this, this, and this. And then once I actually started putting in the work, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually too much for me to handle. and
Right.
so
Right.
and so what it was very like all or nothing. So then I wouldn't even make strides towards the goal because it was just so big. I'm like, oh my God, I
Right.
can't do this. So I ended up not even making steps towards it. And so what
Right.
I've been learning on this break about myself is to continue to progress,
Mm.
not regress.
Yes.
And again, it's not about the perfection of getting it done, but it's about the journey. And so taking
Yeah.
those moments to say, you know what, like we were saying earlier, like it's okay for us to take a break and to come back. It doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
that we can't continue doing the podcast or whatever else we decide to do together. And so that was a big, big part for me, because it was so hard for me to say no. We talked about saying no and these types of things, but, saying no doesn't mean that I won't come back. It may just be like, not right now, It's not like a hard no, like I can't ever do this ever again. Or, oh, I tried this thing and I can't go back to it because now people are watching. Like, whatever I was telling myself, that was something that I've been overcoming. And I'm just thankful for having that time off to be able to reflect and see that that was the type of behavior that I was exhibiting and didn't even realize it. I would set these big old goals and wouldn't even make strides. So now what am I doing? I'm not doing anything because I'm afraid to make a step. And so that was a big, big thing of just being able to set a priority, prioritize my life, see what all of the things that I do have going on, and make realistic goals, measurable goals. Obviously, practicing what we preach,
That's it.
Making, smart goals, and celebrating the steps along the way. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Y'all, it's been real. I mean, we we said before, like, we needed to take this break so that we could be able to be there for you guys. Like Mother's Day passed, now we're going into Father's Day. Now it's the summer. So there's just a lot of things that are going to be moving parts, in our lives.
It's a transition season.
Yeah.
It is a transition season.
Yeah. So we wanted to make sure that we were prepared for the transitions that, you guys are going to face and that we're going to face with you guys. So we just thank you guys so much for, the people that did reach out and said, hey, what's going on? Or hey, we're waiting for your next, episode, we really do appreciate just the accountability and just checking in on us to see how we're doing. So we really, really, we thank you guys so much.
For sure. Yeah. Well, listen, y'all, that's it. That's our return. This is it. This is the return. And again, like she said, to echo all of her sentiments, we thank you all for all of your support, and we got more episodes coming. So till then, always remember to stay balanced
and stay brave. Peace. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a comment below and let us know what resonated with you. Share this with someone. And feel free to follow us on IG at Balance and Brave. Really, on this platform, we're able to just engage with you more. So, thank you again, and until next time.